So let me get to it first, and y'all follow me. All right. So here, gold and the euro. I'm on the 1 minute. I'm gonna bring up replay. I'm gonna tell it to give me a random bar, so there's no cheating. All right. Here we go. So it brought me to 7/22 of 2024. All right. So just a few months back. All right. What I'm gonna do is hop up to the weekly because I like to see great structure. All right. And this is giving me great structure right here, guys. So I'll try to make this quick, but I want you guys to peep the steps that I'm taking because, again, you don't necessarily have to do exactly what I do because you can start your higher time frame from any time frame, right? But you guys know that I consider the higher time frames to be anything above the 1 hour time frame. All right, so that's what qualifies, higher time frames. It takes a longer time for those candles to develop and close, right? Which gives you more concrete, price action on what was actually done versus what might have been a fake out, what's not really the trend, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Okay, so I'm choosing the weekly because I want to see where I have major swings, whether they're high or low, or if they even exist. Because as you can see right here, this is a major push up right here, right? And with that major push up, I don't really have a swing. You understand what I'm saying? So without that, I really wouldn't be able to determine what zone I can trade from, like where price should turn around or where price should rise up from. You know what I'm saying? Where it should go up and reject or where it should go down and reject. I have no way of knowing that when price is parabolic like this. So in situations like this, guys, it's hard to trade that because you know that it's going up. So you know you should be looking for buys, but you've already missed the train. You understand what I'm saying? And this is where we, chase where other people trade. So let's put it that way. And once they buy it at the high, what happens? It does the pulling down and the whoop, right? So I'm always looking to see visible swings. Okay, here is a swing. It's not major swing, but it's just an identifiable swing. All right, price came down, price came up. It's a swing. Price came down, it came up. It's a swing. All right, now here, price came up and it did go down, right? So that is a swing, right? But it didn't really swing all the way down. All right, so when I see that, right, if I can't get identifiable swings, then I just go to a different time frame. So I drop down to the daily. All right, now I can see here's one swing, two swing, three swings, and I have swings right here. Well, that's one major move down, major move up, major move down, major move up. So I got one swing, two swing, 3, 4, 5 swings, right? And that's all I really need. All right, so clearly from the weekly, I saw that we were going up. We're in the uptrend. I'll double back, right? So boom, again, run, pull back, run, sideways, run, pull back, run, didn't break the high. So that's a weak low, and we came and took it out, but we mainly just been moving sideways since we pulled back. All right, but we are still in a uptrend. Okay, so I'm going to the daily. That's where I was able to visualize my swings, and now I'm going to mark them the way that I would like to mark them. So here is that swing where price is currently at, right? It's in that area, right? I can mark this swing and that swing, but we're not, this is all done, right? You know what I mean? I don't really need these anymore to trade off of, except in the fact that, like, if I put, like, let's just say I put a resistance level right here to represent that swing. So I guess I got rid of it, right? But let's say, I just put a resistance level there. That's to let me know that, hey, we could pull back to this area, right? Because again, this is a high that we just broke, right? But now we're going to the demand area. Looks like we're falling to go to the demand area that initiated that break, all right? But all I'm getting at is that if I mark this, I'm just using it as a resistance area, as a pullback before a potential drop to get to that demand zone that ended up pushing price up to break this high. That's what that's all about. But I don't really need it. All right. What I'm focusing on is these swings, because with these swings, again, I'm on the daily time frame. So that is a swing high on the daily time frame is what I'm looking at. All right. And now here is the swing low right here. So price was coming down from here, and then it pushed up again. I can use this one as well, but just on the daily, I can just, see this, and I want to go with this one. All right. So because again, this is closer to price than this one, right? So if let's just say it is going to get to this major swing down here, well, it has to get here first, right? So why not aim for there, right? Before, really aiming for here. It's just the logistics of it all. All right, guys. So now I'm going to mark that, and I'm doing the daily swing low. So now here are the two zones that I want to trade in between, the high and the low, right? Clearly, we already went and made the high, and we can see that we're coming off the high, right? So we went and grabbed liquidity from here, right? Took that, made a new high. So now demand is strong because it broke it, and now it's acting as a magnet for price. So I'm expecting price to start pulling back. right, and get all the way to the low of the day. All right. So I have my two zones, my high, my low. I know that we're in an uptrend, right? And we still can rise up. Again, it's just doing a pullback now, right? We got the break. Every time you get a break, we're going to initially get some sort of pullback, right? So it's coming, it's trying to get to a demand level. Where are those demand levels? You guessed it, right? Somewhere down up in here. I'm going to just take that candle. Boom. There's one level of demand, all right? That initiated the break, right? We broke this high and we broke this high to make that new high, but this is demand. We also may have it sitting right about here. Okay. And again, always what I'm looking at, guys, it's just what was that last candle, mainly when price is rising. Go ahead. Ghost, what you got, bro?
Your screen must have froze. We didn't see your cursor moving.
Okay.
After you marked that
after I marked that second level of demand. Yep. What about right now? Is it still frozen? Okay, so it's not up. You don't see the second one at all? Because I do have it up, but you don't see it?
No, we don't see it.
Okay. All right, cool. I don't know why I started to do this, but there must be something going on with the system. So hopefully you figure that out. All right, now, what about now? Do you see that second demand level right here?
Yeah. We see. I see.
Right. Okay, cool. So, somebody else raised their hand?
No, that was me again trying to black my screen back up.
Okay, gotcha. So again, guys, went to the higher time frame. Off the weekly, I couldn't find my swings, right? It wasn't as defined as I wanted it to be. So I went to a lower time frame. I found my swings. I marked them to identify where I'm looking to trade in between. I know that from the weekly, we're in an uptrend. I come down to the daily, we are still in a uptrend because we just broke a high. This is all just a pullback to the uptrend. So if I'm looking for buys, I want price to be in a demand level or a support level, right? And quite frankly, we're almost there, right? I can see it bouncing right off of this and going back up, right? Or kind of making a deeper pull, right? And then going up, right? There has been no bearish structure change, right? So no change of character to where I need to say, oh, I might want to start looking for sells, all right? Now I'm going to go down to the 4-hour time frame. So I mark my demand, right? I got my low, got my high, mark my demand. I can tell when to pull back. Now, if I want, I can pull out Fibonacci, low to the high, and look, we're already rejecting the 61.8 at this demand level. So I can keep that up and try to use that, as my confluence for when the bulls show up to actually get into the trade and, aim for the high that it paid, right? Don't just not being too greedy. You got to go for highs and lows. That's the name of the game. All right. Coming down to the 4-hour, I just want to see if I'm able to get a nice entry and if I can see a change of character, which I do. I see a change of character here. So this tells me that this pullback is now legit. This is in the legitimate phase of pulling back because we went from making uptrend structure to now making lower lows, lower highs, lower lows. So we're probably going to come back maybe in this fair value gap, maybe up to this order block to make another lower high, and then maybe another lower low coming into the demand, right? We don't really know, but this is why we need to, wait. This is where the waiting comes in, right? So I got everything marked up. I know that I want to look for buys. And now I know that I'm actually in the pullback phase of, market structure, right? And that these are my key points of interest, right? These are the areas that I want to be looking to buy from. I can fine tune it, now that I'm down here, right? So really it's kind of like more like here, something like that, all right? And this one is more like that, okay? So there it is. Now this one kind of looks like it was mitigated a little bit, right? Just off of this 4-hour time frame. But I'm going to read the charts right now, guys. That's all it is. I marked it up. I know I want to be looking for buys, waiting for price to get my point of interest. And this is what separates, and this is a little level of demand where we are right now too. But this is what separates the rookies, from the professionals, guys, is that I know price is not where it needs to be in order for me to buy, right? And things have not shown up for me. The bulls haven't shown up. My confluence haven't really shown up for me to buy yet, right? Haven't had a little slight change of character to go, back up to making higher highs and higher lows, right? On the lower time frame, these things have not happened yet, right? Where a rookie trader, right? They just see that this is going down and they're going to sell it, right? Now, granted, it's in the pullback phase, so they may make some money. But once it gets to one of these demand areas and then completely turns around and shoots through the moon going up, those traders are going to be having a lot of doubt in what it is that they're actually doing. They're not going to believe that they know what they're doing at that point. They were happy initially to make, some kind of profit, see some kind of blue. But then when they saw that red and it was heavy red, and then not only was it heavy red, but it ended up taking them out, hitting their stop loss. So really taking their money and now having them sit with that L, right? to just see price go completely the other direction. They like, how the hell did that happen if price was going down? Guys, again, I'm just trying to put it together, all right? You got to start higher time frame to know what it's all about. What's the direction? What's the structure? How are the banks moving the market? How are these institutions moving the market? How are these professional institutions moving things? You can tell that by the swings. That's where they participate. When you got major swings, that was only possible of turning around and going down by participation of the big dogs. It was only able to turn around and majorly go up by participation of the big dogs. So when you can identify those swings, and then you can identify what those swings are in relation to the market structure, oh boy, it's game over. You make sure that you're getting into your sell from these highs. Make sure you get into these buys from these lows. And that's how it goes, right? So here we go. Again, y'all know everything's not picture perfect, but I'm telling you, the more you line things up in this systematic way, continuously over and over again, you're going to see the truth to, keeping everything the same, right? If you keep switching up, I made this video, some time back just about everybody having, 3,000 strategies, right? You're looking, you test this one, you test that one, but you never really stick to one, right? You got to figure out something that you actually want to do, right? And test it out for a while to really see if it works. And if it doesn't, then you can go ahead and switch it up. But if it just doesn't work within that week and you switch it up, it's a problem. You're never going to have any grounding to really have anything to go off of, right? So again, guys, just consistency and, roboticness is like the key. And then patience, right? So here we go. We're at this demand level. Let's see what it do. All right. So here was that change of character. I'm just going to mark it for visuals. All right. So make it uptrend, higher highs, higher lows. Here was the low. Here was the lower high. We broke it. That was the change, right? So again, I'm expecting a little rise up. Here's fair value gap. I'll mark it just to see what price does, right? These are all the things that I've done a million times, and I've been able to tell, man, it actually respected that shit. That's crazy, right? That's what I started seeing, and I started seeing it way more during replay. Okay, without replay, I would have to wait till the next day to see what happened, and then lo and behold, you guys see, I've already showed you guys US 30, right? With Nathaniel, how we did that. Buy limit, tap the buy limit. It went completely up almost 400 pips in like 2 hours or 4 hours on a Friday. That's if anybody took out a standard lot, that was $40,000 that they made in the last 4 hours on a Friday. Talk about a payday. All right. And if it was a mini lot, that was 4 bands, right? If it was a micro lot, that was 400. But regardless, making 400, 4,000, or 40,000 in 4 hours is absurd. Okay. But clearly you guys see how possible it was. We did that live on Thursday, and it played out to the T the very next day, right? Natural gas, same exact thing. We had a buy limit order on that in a demand area. It tapped into it to the T and then shot up 45 pips. Okay, so please hear me, guys, when I'm telling y'all this stuff works. Okay, you just got to show up enough to be a believer to see it after such a while. That's where everybody they won't do it, right? I've been in this for years. Somebody getting it two weeks and they like, why the fuck I ain't getting what he getting? Oh, there's a major difference. There's a major reason why for that. All right, here we go. Start talking. So boom. All right, all right. Look, it looked like it was gonna break, but it didn't. All right, let's keep it moving. All right, there it goes. It broke a low. All right, and you can see liquidity, all these little lows. It's grabbing it. All right, boom, boom, boom. All right, now it looks like we got a base. Okay, but again, this is all pullback. This is the run that made the lower low. So are we going to fair value gap and reject it? Let's go see. What do you know? We're at the fair value gap right now. Already got an indecision candle. Right with me, people. There it goes. A little deeper in the mix. Okay, a little deeper on it. And that's a bearish engulfing candle. So this is literally kind of giving us a bit of a lower high. All right. So hopefully you guys are able to eyeball it. I'm going to mark it on the chart. So, give you guys some visuals. Right. So you're following that downtrend market structure that we got. That's basically the pullback, right? On a higher time frame. We went lower. So it looks like a trend, which it is. All right. But this may be the lower high. Let's just see. Looks like it was, right? Got the swing. Can anybody see how this rejected the fair value gap to the T? And I tell you guys, when you go through replay mode, it will tell on itself. All right. Y'all will start to see, oh shit, these shits be holding. Yeah, it ain't going past it. Oh, you're going to get it. Here we go. So now we broke this low, right? That low that we made. So again, this is a breaker structure, not a change anymore. All right, that's a break of structure to the downtrend structure that we're getting, right? Barely broke it. So let's see. Okay, reject the demand zone. Okay, all right, what do you know? Broke the demand zone. All right, now remember, if we go back to the daily, I was already expecting from this break a major pullback to where price, where the banks participated, that made them, that made price push all the way up to break this high as well as this high to make that new high. So here's all that pullback, right, into these demand areas. Here's the most discounted price down here. They bought the Jordans at 30 bucks. Jordan went to 200. They sold it and they started selling it to people, right? They had the supply. So now there's the demand. They're going to the demand, guys, to have people buy it again at 30, right? But here we go. Let's get back to 4 hour. All right, let's see how this rolls. I'm going to get rid of this. It's irrelevant now. All right, hit it. All right, so we're respecting this demand so far. But again, this is just a pullback to the down move. So again, fair value gap here, another fair value gap here, and then supply all the way at the top near the fair value gap. Let's see what it's going to do. All right, looks like we're in that fair value gap, rejecting it to the T as of right now. Okay, came up, tapped into this fair value gap right above it, and then we got bearish pressure, right? So now we got another lower high. Now you guys could have caught this pullback, right, off the fair value gap with the bearish engulfing candle. Could have put your stop right above the fair value gap, aim for the demand, right? You could have caught that, right? But it's about you knowing what's really going on. All of this downtrend structure is the pullback for that uptrend move that I'm looking for. So the whole time, guys, I stuck to my principles on what I was looking for. I'm looking for buys. I never got my buying opportunity. You understand what I'm saying? Yeah, I probably could have tried to, catch the pullback on this downtrend, but I don't want to do that, right? You know what I mean? I want to get in with the wave, all right? So now, again, possible lower high. We got to see if we, keep breaking, but it's looking decent. Let's run it. All right, so you see, it didn't quite go to make a lower low, all right? So this is a weak high because it could not break below this low to give us a lower low. Now, what do we have? We have a change of character, guys. We were making lower lows, lower highs, lower lows, lower highs, lower lows, lower highs. Uh-oh, we got a higher low, all right? So that's my first indication that we're starting to go in the direction that I really want price to go in. Boom, there is your higher low. That also gave us a change of character, okay? Right, so now we're back in that little fair value gap, but let me get rid of this break of structure for now because that's all over with. So now if we broke this high, right, this high was not able to fall and break this low, so it wasn't a strong high, it's a weak high. And now that weak high has been broken by this low. So here's where the banks have came in. So this is our new demand area, guys. Please follow me, right? I'm giving y'all the playbook to get paid, all right? All it takes is one pair, guys. Y'all ain't got to trade a bunch of shit. Just stick with gold, stick with NAS, stick with Euro, stick with oil, stick with silver, whatever you want, right? Just one good setup will take you home, all right? There's my demand. So again, with any break, I'm waiting for the pullback. The pullback may come to the area that we broke, the level that we broke, right? It may come back to the demand area. It may even tap a little deeper because demand is very close beneath it. You understand what I'm saying? But all I'm waiting for is that pullback, and then I'm waiting for bulls. At that point, I'm ready to buy because we finally got a change of character going into the uptrend, the up move, the run on the higher time frame. All of this little down move was just a pullback on the higher time frame. It's just we're seeing it in detail because we're on the lower time frame, right? This is the back to the testimony of Ariel's chart. All right, I pinned that chart, guys. So go take a look at it, right? All of this major push down, right? This is all just the pullback on the daily time frame. There you go. Look at that. And look at that after the pullback. So I really should have bought from here, right? But I never got on a 4-hour time frame. I never got the change of character. But if I was just going off the daily, I would have seen this candle and I would be like, oh, okay, I'm gonna take my chance. I would have bought here, stopped right below demand, and then I would have aimed up for this high, which is almost at there. It's almost there. So I would have been, what is that? 1, 2, 3 days straight profit, right? And this is gold. All right, so y'all know. Okay, but here we go. Bring it on down. And again, this is the thing with trading on the lower time frame is that yeah, I could have got in early from here, but I never really got what I wanted. So I missed out, but that's okay, right? Because this lower high, it could have kept falling. You understand what I'm saying? It was still down. So now I got more confirmation that it actually wants to go and get that high now. But I'm just going to wait for this pullback. Here we go. All right, I didn't get it. And look where it got to. Look where it's rejecting, guys. Okay? Can't make it up. This fair value gap is irrelevant, right? Here you go. Get rid of this. Look what you got. A nice little trend line on the highs. That was broken. But we never really got a pullback to this demand or this one. Really, it was this one I was looking for, but we never got it. Let's just see now that we took out the high if we're going to get it. So I'm just going to play it. Oh, man. Somebody get a boy a hand. I'm just, I don't know. I don't know what else to tell y'all. All right. Y'all not convinced by now. You know, it's going to take a miracle. Okay. But it even almost tapped into this level of demand. Right. But all of this is, once again, another pullback. Okay. Downtrend structure. We had to change the character here. We started making lower lows and lower highs like we did over here. Let me see how this looks on the daily. Okay. So that looks like a double top. Right. That looks like the neckline, but we're still in the uptrend. Okay. I missed the boat from here, from this demand where it shot up to the high, rejected the high. So we got supply, and now we're going to seek out the demand. So demand here, demand there. We're going to see. I'm going to go back down to the 4 hour. Okay. And look how it tapped into this demand. So really now I want to see if I get a change of character on the lower time frame so that I can finally get into my buying opportunity. All right. Let's see. Down on the 2 hour. Okay. So run, pullback. I haven't really gotten a change. All right. So it looks like it could still drop. So I'm going to let it play. Actually, let me go to the 1 hour. I just want to see. There's a little something right here. All right. Yeah. So it still hasn't really changed just yet. All right. So I'm going to let it play. There you go. All right. So now here's the break. This is a higher low, and this is the break. So now we have a change of character right there. Okay. And here's my demand. Let me get rid of this for now. All right. And then my new demand is down here. All right. And I'm waiting for that pullback. Again, we're waiting for pullbacks. You know, I missed out on all of that, but that's how it goes, right? Because I'm a pullback trader, right? If I was a breakout trader, I would have won. You know, I would have taken it once it broke that high, taken it up, and I would have been good, right? But, you know, you got to pick a poison, right? So here, let's see. Come on, baby. Ooh, gave me my demand. Now just show me some bulls. If you give me a nice bull candle, especially if we break back above this change, you know, this high where we made the change, if we break back above that, it's game time. Or even more so, if we break above this high, right, that'll be a break of structure when it happens, right? And then that'll show you that, you know, it's time to go. But here's where I want to buy from. So what I'm also going to do is just go lower. I'm going to the 15 minute because now I want to get up in there. I want to see what y'all really doing right now, right? Boom. So I know I'm ready to look for that buy, right? It gave me my break. It gave me my pullback to my demand area. Look, I can fine tune the demand area right around there, right? Ooh, there it is. Look how it's rejecting it all to the T, guys, right? Show me some bulls, guys. Show me some bulls. Okay, nope. Okay, you want to go down a little more? Okay, you saw demand there? Okay. All right, nope. And nope, so not getting what I want. All right, y'all got to know how to stand on business with this. Okay, let me go out to the hour time frame. I just want to see what it's looking. All right, so just hovering around in that demand. But this was liquidity. So actually this was demand, but it had some liquidity in here that it looked like it wanted to go get. But now let's go back down, 15 minute. All right, kind of giving equal low vibes, but we'll see. All right, run it. There we go. Right here, equal lows.
I swear gold is an advocate for Satan. It gotta be. It gotta be an advocate for Satan.
Yeah. So, man, listen, this is what you guys need to know. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to give it to you. Here it is. I'm gonna get rid of that demand. I know it tapped in it, right? It did its thing, but look, it tapped into the demand right below it. And now I got even more confirmations. I got a little trend line break right about there, right? I also have break of this high. Okay, that's giving me a nice break of structure. I got another one right above that, right here at this high. So guys, I got from this demand a break of the trend line, a break of this high, a break of this high. Guys, it's time for me to buy, right? Let me go back to the higher time frames. 1 hour. Look at that. All right. Oh, let me turn that back. All right, boom. That's how the 1 hour is looking. All right. So when we had all that down movement, I should have bought from here. I didn't. I recognized we made that higher low and we broke structure, but I was waiting on the pullback back to here. I never got it, so I missed out. Then I saw price reject the high, the swing high, started breaking structure, broke a trend line, broke a low, made a lower high, made a lower low, tapped into all the demand coming from a heavy supply area with the banks. All right, tapped into a major demand area with the banks, pulled up, but didn't quite give me uptrend structure yet. This was the initial, that was the higher low right here. That was the high that it needed to break to confirm that we possibly want to go up, right? So it did do that. It broke. So I'm looking for my buys, but I know my pullback was coming. It pulled back to the demand and it made a little deeper pullback to the demand that set right below it. Now we getting structured to the upside being broken. Guys, I'm going to take my chance right now. Again, there's a little possibility because of this fair value gap, right? That's bearish pressure to the downside because you guys know when I was looking for the demand rejection here for it to go up, I wanted it to break back above this or break back above this to get in for the buy. So now that I'm kind of getting in at a lower price, which is better, right? I'm still faced with getting past this fair value gap, right? But I just like what I saw from the higher time frame of things looking bullish, all right? And that's just what I'm gonna go with, right? But I can see the possibility. So I always know what I'm getting myself into, guys. This shit is not gonna be any surprise to me. Like if this comes up to this fair value gap and starts respecting this area and then falls again to kind of come down to this, I know that that was a possibility. So, but I'm not going to just say that's the only possibility, right? I got a bunch of things. I'm coming from a demand area. I'm coming from a break of a trend line, a downtrend line. I'm coming from structure being broken to the upside. I got multiple things that are giving me buying signals, right? On top of the higher time frame still being bullish. If I go back to the daily, we are still bullish, ladies and gentlemen. Nothing has really given us bearish market structure. So when we made that high, we pulled all the way back, made equal lows. All right, we had a little down on a lower time frame. You saw the structure change, but on this time frame, there's no real structure change. We're still bullish. We went up, we made equal highs. Still no real structure change. Came down, we're making equal lows again. Still no structure change. You understand what I'm saying? From a higher time frame. So as I get down to the lower time frame, I'm just trying to catch the wave on this bad boy rising up. So I'm going to take my position. Here we go. Again, I see a little pullback happening because, again, we just broke above this high. So I should wait a little bit, but I'm just going to, take my chances. Get right behind that demand. That is a 23 point move on goal so that we know that's 230 pips. I'm going to aim for my 1 or 2. Oop, there it is. So since it's so close to this liquidity area, let me see what that's looking like on a higher time frame. Okay, so it's that high over there. But really, I can tell that I can probably get a little more than that, but I don't need to be greedy. Right? I'm gonna bring it to this wick right here. So I'm gonna just mark that as a little liquidity area. Okay, and I'm aiming for that. Boom, back down to the 15. And I made up my mind, guys. This is how I wanna, live and die with the trade. All right. Yes, I could wait a little bit for that pullback to, come down and then, get in at a better price and then have it go up. But I like the double bottom. I like the trend line break. I like the break of the highs. And the fact that I can tell we got a lot of manipulation out of the way, right? So on that run, we were just supposed to pull back to this demand, but we ended up pulling back lower and making these equal lows. Oh, come on. You know what I'm saying? Like, to me, that's just telling that, okay, all manipulation, right? Now we're really going to do, if I bought here and my stop was a little bit below that low, they took me out, push it up. Took me out, maybe if they didn't get the first time, they got me the second time, took me out. And then what do? They push it up. And you be so pissed. You be so pissed because you knew you were in the right direction. Stop loss wasn't big enough. Stop loss was too tight, over leverage, etc. All the shit that you can control, right? You understand what I'm saying? But when you understand, you understand. So you give yourself the opportunity, right? You stack your odds on the probability, that the side that has more probability is what I'm getting at. All right. So here we go, guys. Y'all throw your vote in. What y'all thinking? Y'all think I'm gonna win this, lose this, or what? Wins or W? Wins for the W, L's for the losses. What y'all think? And Nikki ain't in here, so she can't play devil's advocate today. All right, Chanel, think I'm gonna win it? Cast your votes, or just unmute. Let me know. Ariel, what you think? Ghost, what you think? Daniel, what you think? I'm going home with some money or not? How did I know? Birds of a feather, huh? So Ariel, I think I'm gonna lose. All right, Nathaniel got me with the W. And Ghost, what you say, bro? All right, Ghost probably got to smack somebody right now. I let him ride. All right, guys, here we go. 5, 4, 3, 2. La 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 la. Scooby Dooby Doo Doo. Okay, y'all, it's supposed to hit by then, but it's going. TP smashed. Okay, and I told you guys that I probably should have waited for the pullback. Okay, it made one more round in that demand area, guys, before it took off. But I made sure not to put my stop loss tight like that. My stop loss was behind that demand, guys. And yes, saw a little bit of blue, saw some drawdown. Ultimately, I won. Let me go to a higher time frame. Let's say the 1 hour for right now. All right. And look, triple top. Really, you can see the equals better on this higher time frame. But I wanted to come here to get the actual time. So 5 days. Okay, the entire week I took one trade on gold versus the euro dollar. So you guys trading gold versus United States dollar is no different, right? If you pick gold versus anything else, okay, it's all the same. Market structure is market structure, guys, right? So here it is. Again, with the equal low, the win on the trade that took 5 days, I got 57-point move on gold. That's 570 dips, guys. Mini lot, that's $57. I'm sorry, micro lot, $57. Mini lot, $570. And of course, the standard $5,700 in 5 days. Okay, that's more than people make in a month, guys. You made it in a week. All right, and I just said that in my Keep Trading song. Ain't it sweet? Right? You made more in a week than you made, in a year or what have you in your job. It's possible. I just proved it to you. The proof is in the pudding. I did not pick the time frame on this chart, nor did I, know any of this movement beforehand, right? I didn't look at it at glance and I was like, okay, I'm gonna remember that's what it did. No, I took y'all through this, as the market is progressing. Now, I didn't go for time and whoop, but you guys see what the picture was. And look how it got exactly to where I wanted to get out, right? Let me just back it on out and see what it actually wants to do now. Because, again, we took that swing out. So are you going to go higher, lower, or what at this point now that you grab liquidity? 3, 2, 1. Took one more shot at it. Oh, what do you know? So where we are. So rejection, 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 rejection. But you can still see that we are still in a uptrend on gold. All right. So getting some, this is still where we can fall a little bit, right? Doesn't mean that we're not going to do any dropping, but it just shows you that, hey, we still up. Okay. So we might get a little and then a little top, right? You never know. But guys, I hope you guys are learning something. I really hope some, light bulbs have came on from everything with how I went from the higher time all the way to the lower time, missing out on good opportunities, right? Because I didn't want to be a breakout trader, to being patient, sitting on my hands, letting the trade come to me, knowing that I did not have what I needed to get into the trade. And I waited to get what I needed to get in the trade, took the trade, made sure my stop was good, make sure I was able to handle it on my lot size and give it its time. It took 5 days to hit my TP, but I was in profit on day 2, 3, 4, and 5. So at any point in time, I could have locked in profits. I could have took extra positions. I could have done a lot of stuff in regards to management of my trade, risk management, right? But ultimately, 5 days, one trade, I made more in a week than I could have made in a month at a job. Let's rock with me, people. How you feeling, Chanel? Talk to me. Was that giving you anything? How do you feel?
It makes sense. It makes sense. It makes a lot of sense.
For sure.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So I'm gonna give you a different goal. All right?
You are a trader that you wait for the retrace and then you take your trade.
Absolutely. Because if you know market structure, it's not just runs, it's runs and pullbacks.
Yeah.
You understand me? So, pullback, retracement, mitigate, whatever word you want to use to describe it, just going down, right? You can just keep it in layman's terms and say that, just going down, right? But it's all the structure of how the market moves. We buy and we sell, right? There's a buyer, there's a seller. Without the seller, there's no market. Without the buyer, there's no market. You need both buyers and sellers. So prices going to move up and down. That's what makes the charts. That's what even, you're looking at this, that's all it really is. Up and down, up and down, up and down, up and down. Right? But some areas it moves way more up, some areas it moves more down. But why? What's the reason for that? Well, the reason why it moves more up is because that's where the professionals are trading at those levels. The reason why it moves more down is because the institutions are trading at those levels. So when you were in the beginning, you were trading retail style, right? You were just like, oh, I see a candle going up, I'm a buy. I see a candle going down, I'm going to sell. You had no idea that you were actually trading against the banks. The banks get the money from the Federal Reserve. They have unlimited amounts of money to put in big positions. They let all of us load our money up in these areas behind, the swings and behind levels and all kind of stuff. It's a psychological.
The dumb money, right? That's
the dumb money. The dumb money. That's why they call it. Why do y'all hear SMC concepts? Smart money concepts. The professional bankers are the smart money because they can see where your money is and they're smartly putting in positions to take your money to fuel their next position, their real intended position. When they make moves, it's just to get your money. It's not for them to actually take their initial trade, guys. I hope y'all hearing me. It's not for them to take their initial trade. They're going to get your money to fuel their intended move. So when you understand, then, things change, right? You start swimming with the whales. You start riding the waves. You're not going against the current. You're not dealing with a retail trader. Oh, Bain want to sell gold? Well, I'm going to buy gold. All right. And I'm going to win it. But we small fish. You understand what I'm saying? We ain't putting 100,000 units of an order on gold to buy or sell it. Right? We just in our micros and minis. You understand what I'm saying? And maybe some of us are in our standards. But that's all we got. You know what I mean? We working. You know what I mean? We on the other side. We trying to get on the other side, but we on this side right now. So it's not gonna be the same. Like for you to just try to, win against me, right? Or win against each other. We trying to get with the banks. The banks killing us. They're killing everybody. That's why everybody fails in Forex. That's why they quit. That's why Forex is a scam. That's why it's all, the bad things that you could possibly think of it. You understand what I'm saying? Because I forgot what movie that was. It's like, oh man, every time somebody go in there, they die. They try to fight that person, they die. Yeah, that's what happens. They come in the Forex market, the banks kill them. Come in again, banks kill you again, over and over and over until you're like, you know what? Fuck this. I'm good. Let me go back to my 9 to 5. I gave it a shot. You understand? But once you realize, hey, you can't beat them, join them, right? How much pride you gonna lose when that money start rolling in? I got with the money team. I trade with the banks. If y'all don't like the banks, y'all don't like me. You understand what I'm saying? Because I'm rolling with them. Because I was against them and I wasn't winning. But I figured it out, right? I did my research. I did my back testing. I saw what it was. Okay, yeah, this is really how this should go. Okay, say less. I'm going to eat. Want to get money? Want to get paid? Master Forex? Like a sensei? Then you got to come and swing my way. And if you want to fast forward, hit replay.